is amid lovely Kent countryside a short distance from London. I included it since it is the most haunted hamlet in England, and a beautiful spot that was used in the TV series, The Darling Buds of May. Several haunted sites in the hamlet have a particular feel and are tied to the Daring family, lords of the manor from the 15th century until World War I. Many buildings have round-topped windows, a curious legacy of their occupancy. Lord Daring plunged headfirst out a window to escape Cromwell's army during the Civil War. When he rebuilt his manor home, he marked the occasion by having all the windows match, which the hamlet emulated. Unfortunately, the mansion burned down in 1951, but several houses on the path still commemorate his miraculous escape. You may enjoy beautiful landscapes and clean, psychically charged air during the stroll. The Daring Chapel, where several family members are buried, located at the top of St. Nicholas's Church's first aisle. The top window to your right often exhibits a peculiar, dancing light. The family vault underneath you frequently knocks. In the early 1970s, psychic researchers convinced the then rector, the Reverend John Piddock, to let them spend a night trapped in the church to capture mysterious happenings. They watched and waited, with cameras, tape recorders, thermometers, and other equipment. The following morning, when the vicar let them free, they complained of a boring night, relieved only by the vicar's dog's visits. "Actually," the vicar said, "I don't have a dog." A monk haunts gravestones, drifting amid the woods. According to Tudor legend, he fell in love with the daughter of a neighboring property. As we will see, she died tragically, and he became angry and depressed. He only found comfort in walking the lush fields and leafy alleyways where they had so many romantic moments. However, he fell further into misery, grieving for his deceased beloved, and died of a broken heart. In 1989, an American journalist saw his brown-robed ghost wandering behind the home. A man and woman speaking merrily and a dog yapping had been heard by several passers-by. Once they're almost upon you, the phantoms vanish as they travel down the road, like they have for as long as anybody can remember. It is believed that a Daring family member erected the mansion for his mistress in Tudor times, at least 250 years ago. She loved the Greystones monk and was so distressed by the love triangle that she swallowed a lethal cocktail made from ivy and other toxic berries. Her corpse showed that she had died staring across the field toward Greystones. Greystones wasn't completed until 1863, although there might have been another home on the location, making for an excellent ghost tale. Strange things happen on Rose Court. Items are moved at night. Odd grunts and sighs disturb the early hours, and the garden has an uncanny vibe. A poor gypsy woman sold watercress to the people on its banks earlier this century. Locals knew her as odd but harmless. She sat on this bridge's walls at night, smoking her clay pipe and drinking gin from a tattered flask. An evening, she slept. The pipe fell on her rags and she burst into flames in seconds. No one heard her agonized cries. A smoldering mound of ashes, the damaged old flask, and the broken clay pipe were discovered beside her the following day. Since then, her spirit has appeared several times. In the years after her sad death, she appeared as a screaming, flame-surrounded figure. In recent years, she has faded to a faint pink light above the watercress lady's burned corpse. An alleged highwayman was brutally murdered here. According to legend, he was followed across the fields by law enforcement and died with his back to an oak tree that remained here until recently. Despite a fierce struggle, he was defeated by multiple swords. In the early winter nights, surprised bystanders see his final terrible fight replayed. Others witness a dead figure slumped forward and fastened to a phantom tree by a big sword from his chest. Walking these muddy roads among the skeleton trees at night is frightening. The fact that many lone travelers have been frightened by a loud, agonizing scream makes the voyage extremely worse. It comes from deep in the wood and makes birds flap. A blacksmith's forge was in the structure in the 14th century. It became an alehouse. When I visited in 1997 to investigate my book Haunted Britain and Ireland, Gloria Atkins had a wonderful, cozy tea business. She lived with at least 2 spirits. A cheerful cavalier has been spotted by family members walking in and out of upper rooms. Bemused diners watched a Tudor maid painstakingly turn the spit beside the fireplace. Gloria also saw a line of hanging cups clinking together as if someone had touched them. As she worked in the kitchen on a frigid November day in 1997, she heard the front door open and shut. This was followed by a chair being removed from a table. She grabbed her notebook to take the customer's order, but found the tea room vacant. The building was empty, but she saw a chair pull back from the table. A group of students walking to school in the 1920s found their teacher hanging from a tree at the end of this path. The cause of his suicide remained unknown. On nights when a little wind rustles the trees and a full moon shines over the neighborhood, his ghostly figure swings back and forth from the branch where his live form breathed its last. The original hearth was revealed after an existing Victorian fireplace was removed during renovation. This caused a series of unexplained events, including phantom footsteps that stomped across an upstairs floor and stopped at the fireplace. Even on warmer days, residents noticed an Arctic feeling here. A ghost carriage and ghostly horses race past the homes in the early morning on this road. I interviewed pub manager Laura Gambling about her time here in 1997. On her first Sunday, she had tea before opening for the popular Sunday luncheon period. She saw a glass on the bar shelf wobble slightly. She was surprised when it started sliding down the shelf and stopped at the edge. Other ghostly behavior included an invisible hand that removed silverware from the dresser and placed it neatly on the side. A kitchen location where the dogs would halt suddenly and growl at something only they could see. And an upstairs chamber the dogs wouldn't visit. This cozy old tavern is so haunted that it's the perfect location to unwind after exploring England's most haunted hamlet.